WWE Universe, the D-Lew Podcast is now a brand affiliate of WWEshop.com. That's right. Get all of your latest merchandise from your favorite WWE superstars and wear them proud. So whether it's CM Punk, Randy Orton, L.A. Knight, Rhea Ripley, Seth Rollins, the Tribal Chief himself, Roman Reigns, and legends like Bret the Hitman Hart, The Rock, and Stone Cold Steve Austin, and so many more. Did I mention championship belts? That's right. Get all of your favorite championship belts through the years, including that favorite Spinner WWE Championship. But also, if you're an NFL fan, you can get your very own team championship belt. If you're a Cowboys fan, if you're a Cleveland Browns fan, heck, if you're an LA Rams fan, it doesn't matter. The WWE shop will have your belt for you. So once again, go to the link that's in the description, and you can go to the D-Lew Podcast, WWEshop.com affiliate page where you can get all of your favorite merchandise. Get yours now. This podcast is a Believe Network and Siete production. Welcome to another edition of the D-Lew Podcast, brought to you by Believe Network. I'm your host, Derrick T. Lewis. This episode is special because this week, actually this Friday, last year, was my relaunch episode of the D-Lew Podcast when I was doing it independently, and Chrissy Monroe was my very first guest after a 9-year hiatus that I didn't do the show. So much has happened since then and where we are today. Number one, 2.5 weeks after I launch the episode, the relaunch episode for that matter, Believe Network signed me. I couldn't believe it, that it happened that quickly. I gave them the first episode that I did was with Chrissy, and they believed in my vision right away. And I want to give a huge thank you to everybody that had a hand in bringing me on board to Believe Network. Obviously, Believe Network has grown. It's doing some tremendous things. And the fact that the D-Lew Podcast is a part of the family, I am extremely grateful for them. And Cam Rogers, thank you so much for believing in the show and believing in my vision. And a huge shout out to Carter as well. Carter was really instrumental in getting all of the things that I needed to take this show to the next level. So thank you guys so very, very much. And thank you, Chrissy. I have to give a huge shout out to Chrissy Monroe for taking a chance on me, because she did not have to come on the show to be a guest, but she did because she believed in me, and I'm appreciative of her, really putting the shine on the show. And here we are a year later after the relaunch, and a lot of guests of all walks of life between pro wrestling, music, film. Huge shout out to J.D. Williams that used to play on The Wire, that's still doing tremendous things in Hollywood. Man, every pro wrestler that I interview, because there is a soft spot for professional wrestling on this show. I cover wrestling, I interview wrestlers, and huge kudos to every single wrestler. I mean, heck, I interviewed Bad Luck Fale from New Japan Pro Wrestling, who is halfway across the globe. He's in New Zealand, and he gave me the time. So I'm appreciative of everybody, who gave the D-Lew Podcast a chance. And the goal is to get bigger. The goal is for the show to grow, and I look forward to everything that comes my way and the show's way in 2024. My football team, the Patriots, obviously did not have a good football season. I'm glad football season is over. After 24 seasons, as you guys heard, Bill Belichick is no longer the head coach of the Patriots. He's currently searching for a head coaching position elsewhere. I wish him all the best. It's going to be really weird not seeing the hoodie on the sideline, and he's definitely going to be missed by many of us in Patriots Nation. But as I'm recording this, Gerard Mayo is the brand new head coach of the New England Patriots, and I am very interested to see where this goes, I'm optimistic and I'm really excited about the future. I think there's going to be a brand new energy, in that front office, in the locker room. He's well respected, with teammates in the past and all of the players now. They really respect him. So, I'm wishing him all the best in his new role as the head coach of the Patriots. But about this week's episode, a guy that I've worked with in the professional wrestling industry. I met him last year, I think about a year and a half ago when I was working with the SWF. And this guy has been really killing it. He's appeared on NXT, AEW, Ring of Honor. The list goes on and on. He just recently did a tour of Japan. And when wrestlers go abroad, especially wrestlers that I know, when they go abroad, whether it's, Mexico, Japan, Europe, everywhere, it really makes me proud to know that their brands are growing. Their name is getting out there a little bit more. And hopefully you'll see, this guy signed somewhere very, very soon. I'm talking about Vinny Pacifico, and we talk about early life, how he got into wrestling as far as being a fan, then training at a very, very young age. And we talk about so much. So let's not wait any longer. My interview with Vinny Pacifico starts right now. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me a great pleasure to introduce one of the hottest free agents in the pro wrestling industry right now. I had an opportunity to work with this man in the SWF, and I was a ring announcer there. But he's been seen on with promotions like AEW, WWE's NXT, Ring of Honor, and New Japan Pro Wrestling, and the list goes on and on of how many other independent promotions that he's worked for. He's gracing us with his presence here today on the D-Lew Podcast, all the way from Staten Island, New York, the one and only Power Punch, Vinny Pacifico. Thank you so much for coming on. How are you, bud?
Derrick nailed it on the head, that introduction. Thank you very much. I'm doing very well. It's a beautiful Friday morning. I had a very good breakfast. I've been 10 days straight at the gym, or 9 days straight. I'm going to make it 10 or 11, whatever day it is. I'm going to make it I'm on a streak with gym days, whether it's push, pull, legs, abs, cardio, active recovery. I've just been really taking it to the next level in terms of my fitness and keeping it active. I always have, but it's just I feel like at this point right now, things are really piling up for the best, and I really want to just make sure I'm always ready for everything that's needed. So yeah, things have been really good. It's a beautiful Friday morning. I had a good breakfast. I had some eggs. I had some steak. I had some a little bit of cheese and some butter for breakfast.
Gotta have the butter. You gotta have the butter, yes, for sure. Well, first of all, I wanted to say congratulations on getting married. Congratulations to you, brother. Huge, and I tell anyone that's taking that real life step, you know what I mean? I commend you to the fullest. So congratulations to you in that order. But let's talk about the Wayback Machine a little bit. Let's talk about young Vinny growing up in Staten Island. So what was life for Vinny growing up in Staten Island?
So I live South Shore Staten Island, beautiful area, very, very friendly family area, a lot of sports, a lot of parks. And I always had fun playing with my friends, stuff like that. And eventually I get me a little emotional. Not emotional, nostalgic, I would say. So pretty much I had a bunch of friends. We would always go to school together, always do the things together. And then over time, the friends groups go smaller, right? Mm-hmm. Friends stop hanging out. They get girlfriends. They get this. I mean, listen, I got my woman, but I still make time for my friends. And my friends love my girls. So it's like we all intertwined. But a lot of my friends have not found that balance of having a woman and having friends. So they cut off all their friends and they really don't give time to their friends. And it's like the friend group got smaller, or they got a good job and they are 100% focused in that job, or they moved. And for myself too, like wrestling, I stopped hanging out a lot of the time. I stopped hanging out a lot. I was training 4 days a week. I was traveling 3 days a week. I had no time for anything. I'm still traveling a lot, still training, but I still have a lot more time on my hands because I just make time for what's important, So I would say at like 16, 17, 18 years old, I really didn't have much time. So I was gung-ho in training, gung-ho learning from every single person I can, traveling to shows, even when I wasn't booked. I was booked often, but when I'm not booked, I'm still going to shows, because you never know what happened. a lot of
Always
times
bring your
I
gear,
got
right?
booked. What happened?
No, I was gonna say, as the old expression goes, always bring your gear no matter where you go.
Always bring your gear. Yes,
Always
and
bring
that
your
that, that
gear.
helped me a lot in my career early on.
Right.
So sports, and then eventually I said I want to be a wrestler, and that's when everything changed. Where I started hanging out with my friends less and less, and yeah, so I still have my group of friends. You know, I still have my people I talk to. I still have my outside friends. Um, they're supportive. They all have women. You know, they're all moving on in life and getting decent jobs and stuff, and I'm happy for them. But it's just been a crazy journey. Starting out playing flag football, playing tackle football, going on to high school, playing high school quarterback, and then saying, you know what, I want to wrestle, and then leaving that, start training it when I was 14 years old, and ever since then, it's just been an uphill, never ending grind. Never stopping grind. You keep going, and I tell you, it's been a beautiful journey. I'm very blessed to be in the spot that I'm in right now. I have done some really wicked things that I never even thought I have the chance to do, and it's only getting bigger. Like I'm piling up throughout the months of things that I have, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just things that are bigger each month, and it's really cool.
Awesome. Awesome. So let's talk about that journey. So I mean, obviously you said you're playing, sports and hanging out with your friends and everything growing up in Staten Island. When was the first time that you turned on the television and professional wrestling was right in front of your eyes? When did you, as we say, where did you get hooked?
Love this question. I love this question. Because sorry. Love this question because I was at my dad's friend's house and his son was playing SmackDown versus Raw 2007. Now, if you're a wrestling fan and you're a gamer, you know this game went very hard. So SmackDown versus Raw 07, we were playing it, and I'm watching it. I'm like, I thought it was just a regular game. I didn't know it was real. I didn't know there was wrestling. I didn't know what it was.
Right.
So I'm watching it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, look at the boogeyman. Like, this guy's got red face paint. He has the smoke. He has the baton. And I'm like, this is nuts. So, and I see Rey Mysterio. Like, of course they play as Rey Mysterio and Boogeyman, the two characters that are, like, most colorful,
Right.
As a kid, what was I, like, 7, 8 years old? Watching that, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is nuts. Yeah, I was watching that, and I was like, you know what? I bought the game. I got involved in it. I started watching it every Friday, sat down, running home from school, watching it, I had to miss the last hour because 9 o'clock my bedtime, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you know how it is. So, excuse me, that was my enlightenment with SmackDown versus Raw 2007. And over time, it's just been constant. Like, I watch it often, I kept watching it, going to live events. I was playing football still, but I still had a huge fandom of wrestling. Like, I had a passion for football and a passion for wrestling. And the passion for football died out when I had a very bad coach in high school. Not bad coach, a very strict coach who was kind of an asshole.
Got it.
I don't mean to bury him because he might listen to this, but oh well. Nah, he's a new coach now there anyway. But there are 4 other coaches that were awesome. I'm not gonna say that, but he wasn't very warm. That's all it really was. He was not warm. Right. He was not very hard pushing you to do better. He was just like kind of like, we got to win or you guys suck. So I kind of got turned off. I was like playing it. I was enjoying it. But I was like, you know what? Something's telling me I want to wrestle. Something in my gut makes me want to get in the ring, be around good people, and wrestle. So my dad says, all right, I'll let you wrestle. I'll let you wrestle, but you have to play football for 3 more months. And to reward you for playing football 3 more months, I'll buy you a mini wrestling replica belt to like celebrate the 3 months you do it, and then you go wrestle. And so I did that. He gave me the belt, bought me the belt online, www.shop.com, obviously. And so I was like, having fun, whatever. And then I got involved. So I started training. And then from there, that's when everything changed. I did not stop. I stayed. I started wrestling with 4 of my friends. Like 4 of my high school friends. They all quit within like the first 6 months, and they were actually doing better than I was. At first, it took me a little while to get it. It took me a little while to like get better and stuff. It took me a good like. It took me longer than most to get it at first. But I was 14 and they were older, so I get it. But yeah, they quit. They were done. They were like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'd rather be a doctor. I'd rather do something else. Like, you know what I mean? But I said, nah, I'm chasing this dream.
Right. So where did you obviously, when we're looking at, wrestling schools and now there's the internet, because back in the day, even heck, when I was growing up, you figure I'm 45.
Hmm.
And to look at wrestling schools, it was like you had to look, you had to look, in a magazine, or whether it was the After magazines or whatever it was, or you have to know somebody. It was just a very closed door business back then. So now by the time you're coming along, there's the internet. There's looking at all these different wrestling schools. So which wrestling school did you train at, and how was the process for you in regards to that taking that first bump for the very first time?
The first school I ever trained at, I have three schools I went to: Monster Factory.
Okay, you at the factory. Okay,
For a little bit, I didn't go to train there. I went there to sharpen myself up, like
gotcha.
seminars, went to camps, for 3 or 4 day camps.
Mm-hmm.
But I would give most of my credit to Ring of Honor Dojo. Ring of Honor. I also trained at ECPW a little while with
With Gino
Sonny Kiss.
Caruso?
What? Yeah,
With Gino?
yes, along with Kenny Bengal, Sonny Kiss, Mike Orlando, Ali Rex. These people were starting around the same time as I was.
Okay.
And in that school, very, very, very dark, very cool building, very like cool vibe, and I really enjoyed it. It was really fun. It was really a good experience. And then from there, like you grow, you want to experience other things. So then Ring of Honor was the place that really was everything for me. It got me my start on Ring of Honor television. It got me my start getting to like fly everywhere. Because, when you get really talented and really quick, and you're at a school as good as Ring of Honor, people are like, okay, let's see what you got, and they'll give you more opportunities. So I was very lucky with that, to excel with that school behind me, because I learned so much. And credit to the trainers, Cheeseburger, Delirious,
Delirious,
Jonathan
yeah.
Grant, Will Ferrara. Yeah, so these people were really on me, very like white on rice. They were like, they were hammering into me, and so that's how that all started. I got some really good opportunities with that, and then that's where I started. And I tell you what, credit to Danny Cage also. He is somebody who has trained some amazing talent. He's had some influence in my career as well. Love Danny to death.
Danny, let me just say this, and I'll put Dan over all the time. Number one, Dan is responsible for me even being in the business. That's the first thing. Cheers. I have a cup of coffee. Cheers. Cheers to Danny Cage. He's
Here's Danny.
literally, I'm an outsider. I never trained to wrestle, and I knew Dan through somebody else, from somebody else, and he and I became friends instantly. It's me over 12, 13 years ago,
Wow.
and I'm in the business now 5 years because of him, and I've
Wow.
learned so much. Not so much about, it's not about moves. And this, as you learn and as you grow in the business, I don't care if you're an announcer, a commentator, a manager, or whatever it is. It's not about moves. It's about moments. And a lot of
Yep.
people don't understand. It's like everybody everyone wants to chase the 5-star match. No, bro, it's just really about how are the fans feeling when they go home. That's the most
Yep.
important thing a lot of people don't understand. And I'm glad that you were able to mention guys like Cheeseburger, guys like Delirious. Shout out to Delirious, such a good dude, a wealth of
Yep.
knowledge. I had a
Amazing
chance
dude.
to work with him a couple times, and the list goes on and on about those that are really they teach you the craft of the wrestling business. And I think that's super important as a young wrestler trying to come up and learn the right way.
This episode of the D-Lew Podcast is brought to you by Goalie Nutrition. As someone who's used Goalie for quite some time, I can tell you that they're not only very good, but they're very beneficial. My favorite are the Super Green Gummies. The Super Green Gummies are uniquely crafted with a spectrum of essential nutrients such as vitamins A, B12, folic acid, and thiamine. It supports a healthy liver function, healthy nervous and immune system, digestive health, a boost to your metabolism, and overall health and well-being. There are no artificial sweeteners, flavors, or colors from artificial sources. They're vegan-friendly, gluten-free, and gelatin-free. All loyal listeners of the D-Lew Podcast get a special 10% discount at checkout. Go to goalie.com, use promo code DLEW. That's goalie.com, use promo code DLEW.
Now,
I agree.
your first time getting booked, obviously you worked on some Ring of Honor shows and things of that nature. So what was it like, being young and going into a locker room with all these grizzled, these veterans? What was that like for
So
you?
I was booked at Ring of Honor a little later on. I had other bookings first, but even the bookings that I did have before Ring of Honor, I was on the Indies for a while before Ring of Honor booked me, and so like I was backstage with a lot of guys who were very, very big names, like Mr. Kennedy, EC3, Shelton
Mhm.
Benjamin. And growing up, like seeing that, being like 16, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool, you know? My first match I ever got to have that really was big to me was Shane Helms and Rosie tagged with me. And that was the coolest
Ooh,
thing in my career. I tell you what, I tell
nice.
you,
Rest in
yeah, it was
peace, Rosie.
cool.
Rest in peace.
Yes, rest in peace. Very, very, very cool moment. And so yeah, it was just these just moments, man. Moments just happen, and it's just a beautiful thing to see how things unfold when you work hard, you know. Ring of Honor, working at Ring of Honor backstage is, I would always say, the best locker room there is. The guys want to get better, the guys want to help people get better, and the guys want to make a good show and send the fans home happy and make pro wrestling better than when it was. So I've always loved the Ring of Honor locker room, whether I've been in there or when I've been in it, and when I've left the Ring of Honor locker room and saw the same people in other locker rooms, it's always great vibes, those same people. And I think that's why Ring of Honor was and is what it is, because of the locker room
Having
and who they.
some right, and I remember when Ring of Honor became an entity in 2002, and
Yep.
obviously because at that time it was only one entity, and then there was TNA came along, and then Ring of Honor comes along, and it's like, oh wow, and then you're seeing all these guys that you've been reading about online, the Christopher Daniels and the AJ
Yep.
Styles and the Bryan Danielsons and the CM Punks, Colt Cabanas, the list goes on and on. All these indie guys that were just grinding their teeth into the business, and then they're getting this exposure, you know what I'm saying, with companies like, Ring of Honor and everything. So I loved and I marveled at what Ring of Honor was able to do for so many careers then and even today. You know what I mean? So you're on the road, you're doing all these other things, you're traveling. What has been some of the challenges you faced as far as being in the business? What are some of those challenges you face as a young wrestler?
So usually, the one of the biggest things at first I was facing was learning how to tell a story and make fans get invested. And
Mhm.
character, I had no idea the character I wanted to be. Yeah, I really, yeah, I was, you know, I was at the first 8 months, I was still 14 or 15, so I was like not even sure my character. I think the character my trainer pitched me at the time was like a dragon, like karate kid type character.
Mhm.
And I would study old American Dragon when he wore a mask.
Right.
But that did not even happen. Did not work.
Right.
Eventually, I became the kid. You know, I was young. I was goofy. I was very naive, and they said, "All right, you're the kid," and that was it. You know, and for a while, that's what I was running with. You know, I would be the underdog baby face. You know, I was younger. I was just somebody they would beat down and whatever. And I would
Get that
say that,
sympathy,
like,
get that sympathy from the crowd, right?
yeah. And I would tell you that once 2021 happened, I got this new character that it I won't even call it a character. It's who I am. Power Punch. It is something that was given to me from EC3 and JC. Um, JC called me along with EC3 and said, "Vinny, you have the it factor, and we didn't know what it was for the longest time, but we know what it is now. You drink energy drinks. You always drink energy drinks, and you're very energetic. Put that into your character." And we would cut promos for days. Me, EC3, JC, Matt Seidel was there.
Okay.
Which is or who else was there? Moose. We're all just there, just cutting promos. Yeah, just like talking and going over, just like my character promos and days worth of it, and it really formulated into what it became. And over time, the character got really over. I would do these backstage segments, backstage skits with these wrestlers where we go, like, I offer them a drink and they react how they would react, or I offer just some goofy content with my character.
Right.
And I've done them with like Mr. Kennedy, Tommy Dreamer, Gangrel, EC3, so many talents throughout the world. I've done these promos with, and they've gotten really good steam. They've gotten really over. Mike Bailey, Fuego del Sol, they've gotten really, really over. And I got signed by Bang Energy in February of last year. Then 4 months later, I think Bang went through a lawsuit with Monster, and Bang got bought out. So they had to get rid of all of their talents. Then came along G Fuel, signed me the day after. So, and G Fuel absolutely loves what I'm doing with this energy drink stuff. So I'm very lucky to be in the spot that I'm in right now, with having a contract with Bang and then G Fuel, and to be trusted to do these things by these companies as well.
Wow, that's huge. That's huge.
Yeah.
And I mean, the fact that they have the confidence in you to promote, be responsible, and be the face. And you never know who's watching. You never know you never know where this can be even bigger. You know what I mean? Down the road. Now, what's the best advice that anyone with credibility has given you about the industry?
Best advice I was given, or I would give. What is it?
The best advice that has been given to you.
Okay.
Or if you want to give both, it's up to you. But the main thing is, what's the best advice anyone has given you?
Okay. I'm gonna just say, for anyone who's watching, who's a young wrestler or wants to learn something, I would say eyes open, ears open, mouth shut. Unless you're asking questions that are, good questions that you want to learn something. Never stop studying and never stop growing. And this is something that I've done, especially with this character and these promos and just my matches and everything. Create something out of nothing, right? So these promos I do, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's an idea. It's nothing. It's an idea,
right?
And then you feed it, right? You feed the idea, and it becomes reality. So you create these ideas that are nothing, and you create something out of it. For example, I have this idea. I wanted to do a promo with Bobby Fish, because Bobby Fish has a very good charisma, right? I had a match with him that day, but I said, energy drinks, Bobby Fish, what, and my character, like what possibilities are there? And I said, what if I just dip sushi in my G Fuel energy drink? And I said, and I said, this is an idea. This has been an idea for a week. I said, okay, because I love to get content constantly. Even though I'm wrestling on these shows, I get match clips, match footage, promo footage. I want to create more content, like I do with these energy drink videos segments. So I wanted to use Bobby Fish for one of them, and pretty much I mentioned the idea to him. He loved the idea, and we did it, and it got 108,000 views on Twitter. So yeah, it's just like create something out of nothing. Create a moment, or create a content, create something out of thin air, and just have these ideas, and don't be afraid to try the ideas, and don't be afraid to make the ideas happen. Next week, I'm releasing one of my newest promo that I've done with John Morrison that I got to do a promo with, and it's a very, very funny one. He loved it. He loves doing content. He loves all content. He's a very, very fun guy to do content with. So he was all down to do it. And we literally just thought of an idea that was funny, and that was it. So, like I said, if you want to just do better and you want to grow, don't be afraid to think of ideas and put them in motion. Don't be afraid to never stop thinking. I have never stopped. I never stop thinking. So I'm always thinking of ideas, moments, matches, moves, sequences, promos. I'm always going in my head. New gear ideas. Don't be afraid to ever be too much on yourself. Even though you got to give yourself some rest, don't be afraid to always try and do better, and always try to strive for more. Some people are afraid, oh, I'll never be that way. I'll never be on TV. I'll never get that. That's because you're saying that. You know what I mean? I've seen so many people, oh, that's cool, but I'll never be there. Why not? Why not you? Why not you? Why are you doubting yourself? Why are you only putting yourself to that standard when you know, and we all know, if you work hard and you dedicate yourself, you could be there too.
It's all up here. You know what I mean? It's all up here. And you're speaking of promos, and I'm glad you brought this up. When you look at promo guys, and we could talk about in the history of the business, when there's Dusty, there's Flair, there's Hogan, there's Macho Man, there's The Rock, there's Steve Austin, there's John Cena, there's all these guys, LA Knight. When it comes to Power Punch Vinny Pacifico, who is the promo guy that you say, you know what, that's my go-to whenever I'm in a creative, maybe if you kind of you're in a rut a little bit, that's what you go to.
So my character is different. My character could be serious, it could be funny, it could be goofy, it could be all these different things. So like again, like I'm pretty much like an energy addict. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, so when I think of new promo ideas, I just think of what is something that I would do in this situation, and what is a story I could make out of this, right? And so like I like to go to movies as example.
Okay.
Spider-Man is someone I definitely feel is similar to the character I am, because he is funny and goofy as he is a badass, right?
Right.
As he's beating people up, he's cracking jokes. You know what I mean? That's something I've used as some knowledge for the gimmick. I also think of scenarios that I would get myself into as the character, and think about ways I can make moments out of them. Okay, so who else do I listen to in promos? Okay, John Cena is definitely somebody I love. I love his promo game. I really enjoy Matt Cardona's promo game. He is underrated promo-wise, in my opinion.
Agreed. Especially now that he's been away for almost 3 or 4 years, and he has basically reinvented himself to the fullest. You know what I mean? That Zack Ryder gimmick don't even exist at this point. He's always ready, Matt Cardona, the indie god, and he's making a whole lot of money because of it.
Yes. I would also say another person I love the promo game, obviously The Rock. Like, these guys are obvious. You know, these guys are just, of course, I would say them. Mr. Kennedy. Him and I collabed on a promo once, like an energy drink skit. What do I want to call them? They're basically just skits I do with wrestlers, right? Content or segments. I did one with Kennedy. At EC3, also another incredible promo guy. But Kennedy, he loves the gimmick, my gimmick. He loves it. So he was more down than ever to be like, let's do a promo together. Let's do it, right? I said, all right, you have an idea for one? Do you have anything you want to like do in the promo? Like, do you want to like, drink the drink and like do something funny with it? Like, what do you want to do? And he says, let's create something special and just use our instinct of professional wrestling. So we started rolling the film, and that was it. We had zero plan. We just went ahead and were our characters completely.
Wow.
And that was it. And it was special. It was a very, very fun one to do, and just different. And it makes you learn to be able to work on the fly in terms of promos, in terms of just like reacting, of how your character would react.
All in the ring.
Yes. So I'll after this podcast, I'll send you that promo also of me and Kennedy.
I would definitely love to see it.
Let's
talk about your recent trip to Japan. I want to hear about this, because when I see, some of my peers, going out, and I consider you one of my peers, because, we worked together before. When I see people that I know and I care about going, overseas to do, like my boy LSG, shout out to LSG. He's always going back and forth to Germany and everything. And I'm so proud of him and what he's doing with his career. When you went, so talk about your recent tour of Japan and how that was for you.
I would tell you, time of my life. Most beautiful place I've been to in my life. I've been to Canada. I love Canada, but
same here.
Canada's nice, but Canada's very, very nice. But Japan is just the most beautiful place to be. I wrestled for the company that I wrestled under Takumi Shinoku. He runs a company, JTO, out there.
Okay.
And what an experience. 3 matches, just learning, just being put in scenarios to grow and get better, having to wrestle somebody who speaks Japanese and not English. So you have to like break the language barrier and just have a good match, And if you're a pro, you do it, you learn. And it just, I probably grew a lot in that last 4 days, 5 days that I was there. I grew a lot in terms of just everything, in terms of life and as a talent. I've had to adapt to a lot of things while I was out there, and I did. And I loved it. And let's give a shout out to Japanese food. They do food right out there. Sushi, ramen, steak. Their steak is a steak that I've never had before in my life.
Oh, really?
Good. Yes.
I have to ask. Wait, I have to ask the $1,000,000 question. Did you go to Ribera Steakhouse or no?
I actually have it right here. Show you. Ready? They brought me to Japanese deathmatch legend, Mr. Danger's Steakhouse.
Okay.
And he gifted me with these cards. These really cool cards. Yeah.
Nice.
His welcome gift. It was very, very cool, man. It was very, very cool. Very good experience. I want to go back longer. This was like a 5-day trip, but I am trying to go back a lot longer and to just keep going. I never stop grinding, never stop working. I want it all. And Japan is somewhere that gives it to you. Gives you that. Because it's like wrestling fans are so in love with the sport and they just love what you do. And it just feels so good to be surrounded by fans who just love pro wrestling,
Yeah, that's important, man. And like I said, and kudos to Taka, and I've always been a fan of his work for years and on his contributions to the wrestling business, bringing a style over here. He wasn't so much doing a lot of strong style stuff when he was in the States, but still some very innovative work he was doing.
Yes.
My question for you, though, my next one is, define what success means to Vinny Pacifico.
I believe success is a different word for everybody, right? Some people want to be on the indies, make a living, and just kill it everywhere they go. Ooh. Okay. That all right? I saw something up on the screen.
You good. No, you're good.
Okay. Success to me, I want to be able to support my family through pro wrestling.
Right.
I want to be on television every week, and I want to make the most of everything I'm given. So, obviously, we want the contract. We all want to be on TV every week.
For sure.
That goes without saying. I want to be either AEW, WWE, TNA, New Japan. I want that. But I also want to be someone in my family and in life who could help others in need, through pro wrestling. And I want to be someone that can be relied on, because I just want to give back. And I feel like making good money, doing really good things is just a good way to, give back to the community and give back to my family who's been so supportive of me. That to me is what success would be for me. But other people could have a career on the side in wrestling and just wrestle once a week. And if they're happy, that's it. That's all that matters. Right. But for me, I won't be happy until I get where I want to get. I won't be happy until I get. And I also have a lot of other dreams I have. I want to have my own energy drink. I've been in talks with a few things, have my own energy drink. It's hard, but there's talks. I want a lot. I want to do it all.
The grind and hustle that you're doing now is going to pay off, especially when you're trying to branch off, use what you have and use that as a vehicle to do other things. And I think that's where the difference between some people that are passive about it, but some that are really, really aggressive and really passionate about what they're doing. And those things are going to flourish for you for sure. Now,
awesome.
If there's anything you could change about the industry, if you had the magic wand and you say, I have the power to make all of these changes, if it was one at the top of your list, what would that change be?
People who want to help others so I would want it to change from what it is now. I mean, it's very, very good now. I mean, I've had nothing bad. I've never been shorted money. I've never been any of that, But I've heard stories. I would want everyone in wrestling or this magic wand, every promoter to pay everyone on time and fairly and pay everyone fairly. Everyone should get paid fair. I believe I would like for there to be no judgment, because I see people in wrestling getting judged and, in just nasty ways sometimes. Not to me, of course, but I hear stories, and I think that wrestling would be better off with people who want it better and people who want to be good human beings and to make others feel safe around, And I just think, be a good person, people being good people and people wanting the best for each other. That's what I want. I want people to care about other people. I want people to care about people's emotions, because no one knows what's going on in someone's head,
Indeed.
And no jealousy. These things will never happen, but these things that would make it better. Yeah, jealousy sucks, and it's something that is a horrible sin that everyone goes through.
Now, before we get out of here, I got to hear one funny road story that you've ever experienced that if you talk about it now, it's going to make you laugh. We got to hear one.
Okay. I forgot where it was.
Okay.
But we go to a show and the champion lost his belt. And I don't know what show it was or where it was, but the champion comes to the show and says hi to everybody and comes backstage, and the promoter's like, all right, yo, I need the belt. And he looked at his bag and the belt's not there. And I don't know where the belt went. Don't know where the championship belt has gone to or even ended up being, but it was gone. And that to me was just hilarious, because the guy was just like reacting funny to it and like, I don't know where it went, and looking all over the place. And it was just, he lost it. That's a funny story that I have that I can think of right now.
Oh my God. So wait, so let me ask you a question. Was he scheduled to lose the title that night? Or
I think he was like just there, like entrance and come to the ring and like cut a promo. And that was it.
God.
Yeah.
Man, I guess it reminds me of the when Jericho won the the AEW title, and the title got lost, and someone tried to sell him.
Yeah.
Oh man, I thought, first of all, when I saw that online, I'm like, this has to be a rib. I don't think this is true. And I was like, Jericho really lost the title.
Yeah. I have one more story. One more funny one before we wrap up. I fell in my entrance a few times. And it happens. It's not funny, but this is like something that happened a few times where I just fall in my entrance. And I want to make a compilation of it. Not all the time, but like it's like 2 or 3 times where I fell in my entrance and I'm like, wow, that would be really funny if people saw this.
Was it an Ultimate Dragon WrestleMania 20 type slip and fall or no?
No, it was like a quick little like fall on my knees, pop back up, didn't happen, really type thing.
Oh, got it. So we're like, yeah, that meant to happen. I meant to do that.
Yeah. That happened. That's okay.
Exactly. So where can everyone reach out to you on social media, YouTube, the whole 9 yards?
So my 3 main: Facebook, Vinny Pacifico; Twitter, Vinny Pacifico 1; and Instagram, Vinny Pacifico.
Awesome.
That.
And the YouTube or?
No YouTube. I'm slacking on that front. I gotta start doing that.
Okay.
Well,
Vinny, again, it's been an honor and a privilege for you to take the time out of your busy schedule to come onto the D-Lew Podcast, talk the business, talk about life, and we'll definitely be in touch for sure, man.
Please, definitely.
Well, that does it for this week's edition of the D-Lew Podcast. Again, I want to thank Vinny Pacifico for taking the time out of his busy schedule to talk about wrestling and what he's done, what he's doing, and what he's going to be doing in the near and distant future. Best wishes to him in all that you do. You can see me this Saturday night at the world famous Monster Factory 4 Factory Reboot. Bell time starts at 7 p.m. Doors open at 6. Get your tickets now at monsterfactory.org. I'm going to say it again, like I do every episode when I close out, but subscribe. What are you waiting for? No matter which platform you listen to your podcast on, so it was Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Amazon Music, the list goes on and on. Hit that subscribe button so you can get all new content every time it is available, usually on Thursday mornings at 6 a.m. Eastern. And again, You can listen to all the archives at the D-Lew-Podcast.com. By the way, if you want to be a guest on the D-Lew Podcast, just shoot us an email at info@the-D-Lew-Podcast.com. Social media. All social media platforms, with the exception of Facebook, is at The Real DT Lew. Facebook is Derrick T. Lewis official page. Of course, my single, Espacion, with the one and only Angie Stars, is out there on all platforms. The music video is on Vivo app, YouTube, Apple Music, and Tidal. Make sure you hit them streams. Hit those streams, please. I ask of you. And one more thing about the t-shirt and hoodie store. Like I said, it's in the process of finding a new home. Shop.derricklewis.com will be relaunched, but again, it's in process of being relaunched, so just stay tuned for that. Well, I'm going to get out of here, and like I always say, no matter what it is you do in life, always remember to make it count. See you next time.